Hey guys, NCSFan001 here, welcoming you to another one of those trophy list analysis videos. Today's game is Metal Gear Survive, the upcoming post-apocalyptic survival horror game that's kind of sort of set in the Metal Gear universe without Hideo Kojima making it, so that's probably not a good sign. Anyway, the game comes with 1 platinum, 2 gold, 7 silvers, and 42 bronzes for a total of 52 trophies worth 1,200 points. So, let's look at the list. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say I don't know a ton about this game, but I have seen, at least some gameplay and such of it, so hopefully my opinions are going to be at least somewhat accurate. Hero, earned all trophies. That is your platinum trophy. Now, you know that the list in the game is going to be good when your first trophy is for seeing the Metal Gear Survive title logo. So that is a trophy. That's probably not the best sign, that's literally, you get a trophy for booting up the game. The soldier, a soldier joined your ranks. The nurse, a nurse joined your ranks. Defender, you successfully defended your outpost for the first time. Digger, you digged Iris Energy for the first time. I'm pretty sure that's not the past tense of digging, but I'm not an English major. Maybe I'm wrong. The boy, a boy joined your ranks. The cop, a police officer joined your ranks. Progress, you finished digging Iris Energy. So those seem like they would all be pretty simple, story-related trophies probably, unless they're completely luck-based as to who joins you at any given time. Expansion, base camp's expandable area reached level 2. Refuge, you arrived at the FOB. The Giant, you discovered the Giant. The EM gun, you recovered the Giant, so it must be some kind of super weapon of some kind. The Engineer, an engineer joined your ranks. Rescue, you rescued the boy. Didn't we already have a trophy about a boy joining our ranks? Sacrifice, you defeated the Lord of Dust. Home, you made it home. So I'm assuming that's the end of the story-related trophies, along with this next one, Production, you crafted your first item. And a few others after that, but really at home, that's probably the last story-related trophy. That's probably the conclusion to the game, even though it's only a bronze, which is a little bit surprising. The Lord of Dust is probably the final boss, so you'll probably unlock both of those trophies around the same time. Construction, you constructed your first building. That seems like it'll probably be story. Education, you learned your first skill, my bad. Ability, other classes were added, so it looks like you start maybe with one specific class and you can learn the others along the way. That's probably going to be along with leveling up and progressing through the story and stuff. Cooperation, you played a salvage mission. Results, you achieved a performance evaluation for a salvage mission, so that's probably some kind of just complete a challenge in any one salvage mission. There's a bunch of them, but we are going to come back to salvage missions later because there are a few other interesting trophies related to them. Suppression, you defeated all boss creatures, which is surprisingly only a bronze. Hunt, you did your first hunt. Cook, you cooked your first meal. Harvest, you did your first harvest, assuming of crops. So a lot of those trophies all seem pretty much story-related and pretty easy for the most part. Mission, you completed your first order. That seems like it's probably some kind of side missions that become active as you play through the game. Exploration, your crew completed their first dispatch mission. So I assume that can be done both with AI partners or with your online co-op partners, because the game, despite it requiring you to always be online, you don't have to have other actual players playing it with you. It'll fill in the ranks with AI if you don't want to be playing with other actual online people. I feel like it's going to be a lot more fun, though, and probably a lot easier if you play through the game with actual people. Revival, you used the analeptic revival pill for the first time. That seems easy enough. Proficient, you raised all skills to their highest level. That's a silver. It's probably not difficult, but it's probably going to be a bit on the grindy side. Common struggle, you completed every wave in every salvage mission, and there's a lot of salvage missions in the game, so that one could take quite a while. Slicer, you defeated 300 creatures using one-handed weapons. Ripper, you defeated 300 creatures using two-handed weapons. Impaler, you defeated 300 creatures using thrusting weapons. Crusher, you defeated 300 creatures using heavy weapons. Marksman, you defeated 300 creatures using bows. Responder, you defeated 300 creatures using interceptor units. Protector, you defeated 300 creatures using defense units, so a bunch of various kill-based trophies. Probably nothing too difficult there. Iron Wall, you successfully defended base camp with no losses incurred. That's probably something you have to wait until later in the game to do when you're fully upgraded and all, but it's probably not too bad. So this is where we start to get to some trophies that I'm a little more conflicted on. Rod and Snake. During salvage missions, you revived 30 allies who were near death. While that's probably not that hard, it makes me wonder, are the salvage missions going to be replayable? Because there's another trophy related to them here later on. And I have to wonder if they're going to be replayable or not. And if they are not replayable, then that trophy could potentially be missed. As could this next one, Locksmith. You opened a hard difficulty container flawlessly. It's probably pretty easy, but if there's a limited number of hard containers, then that trophy could be missed. Now this is all barring the fact that you could probably jump into other players' games and do the trophies in there if you were to run out on your own file and stuff is not replayable. Comrades in Arms. You completed 50 salvage missions, so we know that there's at least 50 and you have to complete all waves of all of them. Surveyor. You explored the entirety of both maps. Not sure what they mean by both maps, but that doesn't seem too bad. Survivalist. You survived 140 days, 15 hours without dying. First off, that's a really weird number. It must be a reference to something. You guys can tell me about that, like there have been in some of the other games I didn't know certain references. But that seems like it could be difficult, especially if it were to be survive 140 days from the start of the game without ever dying. But my assumption is that it's probably you could do it at any time, 140, 141 consecutive days, which means you could probably do it later on when you're a lot more upgraded and stuff and more ready, and you might be able to AFK it, I don't know. Glory. You earned 30 first-place score rankings when completing the final wave in a salvage mission. This is one that concerns me because, again, the salvage missions, this might be missable if there's a limited number and you can't replay them, even if you jump into other players' games, though, and do them in there. What do you mean by first-place score rankings? Do you mean first place in your group? Because if so, that's probably not going to be hard at all, especially if you are AI, if you have AI partners, or if you boost it at all. But the problem could be, what if they mean first place on a leaderboard of some kind, either for your friends list or for the world or something? If it's something like that, then we're going to have a repeat of Lost Planet 2 and a few other really brutal games like that. So I really hope it just means first place in your group, though, because if so, that's probably not overly difficult. It might be kind of difficult, but it's probably not horrible, especially since you could probably technically boost it. Foodie. You ate all food. Collector. You obtained all weapons and gear. So the question with those is, are they missable? Are they luck-based as to when they might pop up and be kind of random? And are they going to be locked behind microtransactions? Because we know the game's going to have those. All three of those questions have yet to be addressed, but they could all be concerns. Prosperity. 30 crew members are among your ranks. That's probably pretty easy. Spit. You skewered 50 creatures using the foot press skill. That seems pretty easy. Bad meal. You fed a metal drum, presumably a red explodey container, to a boss creature, unless the boss creatures can be refought and spawn, in multiple places and stuff, like, the Division style. Unless they do that, then that trophy could potentially be missable. And finally, we have Best Buddy. You defeated 300 creatures using the auto turret. That's just like the other kill-based trophies. So my overall consensus on this game is the trophy list is all going to come down to a few specific things. It's going to come down to just how difficult the game ends up being, if stuff is missable, how difficult surviving 140 consecutive days is, and then how difficult would that glory trophy be, like for the 30 first place score rankings, what's that going to require you to do exactly is my question. It could be that the game is not overly difficult overall, and some of these trophies might not be too bad, so that's what I'm more hoping for. The time commitment to the game is probably going to be pretty heavy, though, like probably 50 hours or more, I would think. Even if you're playing with other people, because all those salvage missions and stuff you have to do. So that's my assumption, is that it's going to be pretty time-consuming, but that it may not be the most difficult game out there to platinum. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Metal Gear Survive releases on February 20th here in the US, and I believe it releases on the 22nd in Europe. So I'll see you guys for the next video.